Baking with the pumpkin.
Welcome to Baking with the Pumpkin. I'm the Pumpkinator, joined by...
Where am I?
my house.
Oh, I'm Razz Llama, indeed. Today, hopefully you could tell, we're doing something Pokemon related based on our Pokemon and my hat, of course. We will be making the Pokemon GO Razz Berries, since Pokemon GO is so relevant and meme-tastic.
And so this is what a raspberry looks like in the game. And we'll be replicating this by making red cake pops and green frosting for the leaf.
Of course. So what you will need today for supplies and ingredients for this project are
Cake mix, 3 eggs, 1, 2, 3, a cup of water, and a 1/3 cup of oil.
and remember all those ingredients are specific to
Our cake mix instructions. And so we have some food dyes, red, purple, and green, and some frostings, and a mixing bowl.
And also we will need a 9 by 9 inch pan, a tray, a larger mixing bowl which we have in our lovely handy dandy KitchenAid. And also specifically you will need a leaf tip for an icing bag, along with an icing bag, of course. So first we're going to be cracking our eggs and mixing it with our water and oil for our cake mix. Now let's get to the show. Alright, now we have our smaller mixing bowl and a whisk.
So now we're going to crack our eggs into this bowl. Bang it against the side. Oh crap. Any eggshells? No, it looks like we're good.
And I'm going to crack this egg. Ah!
Are you ready for this epic behind the back swag-tastic egg crack?
I told you!
This is the egg I just dropped.
And since we just dropped that egg, we're gonna crack this one. Okay. Okay, now that we have cracked our eggs and Daniel's picking up the egg he dropped because he tried to do it behind the back, now we will be mixing in our water and oil. Just very simple. And now time for our oil. How's the cleaning up going? Now our beautiful batter is almost ready. So now all we're gonna need to do is we're gonna dump this mixture into our KitchenAid and we're gonna be putting in the cake mix. Okay, so now that we poured that in and we mixed it around for a little bit,
Time to add our cake mix.
indeed. So let's open up the box.
6.5 hours later.
Okay, so now that we've put our cake mix in, we need to let it mix.
Crank it up.
Okay, so now that we've let our cake mix for a decent proportional amount of time, we are going to put it in our pan. And I just forgot that we did not preheat the oven. So preheat that oven, boys. Don't be stupid like us and make sure to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Now let's cut these open with my butt.
He's very sharp rectum.
I just murdered a bag.
He wasn't allowed to use scissors in elementary school.
No, not ever since I cut that teacher's penis off. Okay, so now that our oven is almost preheated, we're going to be dyeing our cake. So the dye colors you'll need for this specific task is red and purple. Now we're trying to still figure out the perfect ratio to get it to this nice raspberry, pinkish, reddish, purplish color.
Or you're thinking it's more red than purple.
Probably.
This is the cake batter before you add any dye.
So now we're going to be putting in the red dye. We're going to put in 2 drops and see if that's enough. 2 bigger drops. Let's mix it in and see if that's what we're doing.
Now we're going to add 1 drop of this the purple dye. So,
Oh, that's so cool. It's like a little bubble.
there you go. Alright, I gotta drop purple in there.
Let's see if this is enough.
It's a lot. So, okay.
Yeah. Oh, good. Alright, we're gonna add one more drop of red. Alright, so now that everything is mixed, we're gonna be placing our cake into a pan and then putting it in the oven.
This is the color we have come up with. It's a pretty decent pink. So try and get something close to that. This is what we think will work.
Smile! Oh, now my hands are oily, like Daniel's skin. Okay, so now we're gonna be putting our batter into the pan.
Alright, so I'm just gonna let that drip into the pan like the magma over your prisoners. Alright, just gonna pull out our trusty spatula and scrape out the rest of that batter.
Oh yeah, that batter is good. Don't you think? I'm actually really good at accents. Name a country.
Swahili.
Give me another country, I'm so good. I'm on fire.
Brazil.
I'm from Brazil. Okay, give me another.
The Sweden.
Hey mate, I'm from Sweden and I got 3 bottles of cookies and 7 mankajengas. Oh. Okay, so now we've got our cake mixing. Now that we've got our cake batter in the pan, we will be putting it into La Vendita. I also speak Spanish, if I didn't mention. Wait, I have a fun idea.
Let's have an oven mitt party.
So I'm just gonna take the pan with me. Whoop.
You've already dropped one thing today, you're not dropping another.
Hold on, let's get that in the center. Oof. Close that up. Alright, so now we have our finished cake in our pan. It took more like 30 minutes actually. It didn't cook really fast. But so now we're just gonna try and flip it over onto this tray.
Oh my god, put it lower! Yeah. So, I think there's enough cake here for us to make into cake balls. So, we'll put it back over there.
If we need more, I can still take it.
Yeah. But this should be enough. Who's your daddy? What we're gonna need to do to make cake balls is we're gonna need to make some dye some icing this similar color, and we're going to combine it in a bowl. Here we go. You need a bigger bowl than that. There we go. Now this is the bowl. So we're gonna put our cake in the bowl. Okay, so now we're gonna need to dye some of our white frosting from earlier. Am I more than you bargain for yet? Does it taste like cake?
Yeah.
We made it wrong. Why doesn't it taste like raspberry? Now that we have our pink frosting, we're going to be mixing. Let's mix at least half in with the cake. So now we're just adding in a little bit more cake. Now we're gonna ball it up into little tiny baby ballies. The ball should be about the size of a golf ball or a little bit bigger than a golf ball.
So now we have about 16 cake pop shaped thingies, all different sizes, and now we're gonna put them into the freezer.
For about 30 minutes. Okay, so now that we've popped our little cake pops out of the freezer and we've let them sit out for a little bit of time, we are going to be putting them onto the tray and arranging them to look like a raspberry. So now we're going to need to fill our icing into our icing bag. Okay, so now we're going to be adding our leaves.
We are now completed with our raspberry cake, and we will now
Be catching a Pokemon.
You gonna lit up for the camera there, buddy?
Disgusting!
I'm out here looking for wild Pokemon. What's that? A Pikachu's on my radar. Gotta catch them all.
A wild Pikachu! I think I know what I need for this Pikachu. A Razz Berry! I got my Razz Berry ready.
Pikachu! Pikachu!
Gotcha!
This project was a success.